Hey everyone, it is the same dang day and we are bringing snow news to you here live from the deadliest intersection in town. Trust me, I watch a lot of things from the fourth floor that happen out on Perry Street, and a lot of it happens here. Don't give me the idea of why, but a lot of it does. Anyway, we've got Jimmy John's and our screen's all thawed enough that you can see. Because before I was going to make you worry about how the heck do you even see in the winter if your screen just keeps being covered in ice that you didn't scrape off. That's just because I was getting impatient. The person behind me decided to put their thing into reverse, but they weren't backing up. They were sitting on their phone after I finally gave up, climbed in my side of the car. So I'm like, you backing out? I'm backing out. Anyway. Plus, this will give me a chance to vent about my day and mostly Microsoft. My entire day wasn't about Microsoft, but 3 hours of it was. And oi. That was more than enough of 3 hours. And in case you're wondering, we're going to go out and just get Dan's cigarettes from the country store and then drive back on the trail. So that should give me more than enough time to rant about everything. And I came in all happy-dappy thinking I could figure out the OAI harvesting, and I ended up doing the community zone task list and all that. That took me long enough. And yes, if you're hearing the squealing, that is the they call it the little window shield on top of the window that needs to be replaced. Well, I've got them for all of them. We just need to get the car washed and find some time to actually peel them off, wash the car, and put them back on. But yeah, that thing drives me nuts. If you're hearing it, congrats. Dan says he can't hear it in real life, but he does sometimes hear it on the recording. So sorry, I'm not good enough on audio sampling to take it out. But in the meantime, you get a lovely view of more thick incoming snow. And we get to hear the excitement of my day. So I did not account for the amount of snow that piled up in my car when I left shortly before 10 and already had to dig it out, which irked me a bit because, like I said, I think that's my number one or number two thing I don't like about winter. It's constant excavation of your vehicle. Enough to make you just stay and work from home for the rest of your life. Anyway, we did that. We got to the clinic at 10 and we had a fun time. I get there and they're still messing with... We took one of the older computers because we're retiring 3, and we took one of the other ones and decided to make it the scan computer because we had one laptop that was just for scanning. And the last time I was there, it was real needy about wanting some sort of software because I downloaded the Windows version of scan software, even though it uses the electronic records management software to scan things. But I put it on the Windows version just to see if it would scan anything at all, and it was kind of cranky about that and wouldn't let me install it because I didn't have, I think I mentioned this earlier, the Outlook account password and information to unlock all that. So I thought we were back to square one, but the other volunteer was there. She was like, no, I put it on the regular volunteer account, the local account, and it was scanning. And then stopped scanning. And then we discovered shortly thereafter that it would you could try to get it to scan through the drop part of the scanner, but it would only scan the first sheet anyway because it was just being a jerk about it. So that was fun. And I'm like, you need to that's why we were trying to get the Outlook account redone, so we could get into it, we could route the new machines to it. And the nurse or the clinic director was like, oh yeah, we did try that, and here's the email I got from them shortly after we broke for the last session we were at. And I'm like, okay, and it's got just the code in there, but nowhere obvious to enter said code. Oh, it's kicking up some snow, and it's like, that don't make no sense. And we go through the process again, and at that point I'm like, well, we did this once, can you go look in your junk and your trash and see if you have this other email? Because what happens when you have a Microsoft personal email account is that it has an online account recovery form, and yes, I'm driving super slow so we don't spin, and you fill out this form online, and before you fill the form out though, it asks you for your recovery email address, and it sends a happy little 6-digit, 7-digit passcode there to even get to the form to submit for the recovery email. So it sends you the one passcode because it assumes you're still sitting on that page because it does that pretty fast. And then it sends you this message later about whether or not it could recover your things. And she did manage, after a few minutes, to find the email where they said, we tried to look you up, but we can't recover your account that way. We don't have enough information. But at that point, we had already gone through the process again. It's already like, no. The code alone does not do the trick. And it looks like, that they denied you the first time. I didn't give them any new information, so they'll probably deny us again. But we can keep trying. And then I ended up asking Copilot, because I was kind of like, is there any way to get to a human at Microsoft? I mean, again, it's like Meta, it's a huge company, but God forbid you try to actually talk to someone. And Copilot actually, gave me an answer back, because I was like, we have this, and then we have this other account that we created when we were applying for Microsoft 365 for nonprofits for the clinic, and that one has a different custom domain that they allowed us to get. And Microsoft, or Copilot, nicely said back to me, like, so personal accounts, even if you got a hold of somebody, they can't manually override it or unlock it. Like, it's got to have X amount of information matching. It's an automated system. If it doesn't have that, then congrats, you're just not going to be able to get in. You can continue submitting information up to 2 times per day. Goody gumdrops, but it's just gonna auto keep kicking that notice at you. And I didn't have any additional information, because like one of the things it wants that we're like, we never sent email from this Outlook address, so we don't have like recent emails from them, because like they give you the suggestion like, go contact your contacts and see if they have any emails from this account that you can like type in here as exact subject lines. Do you have any other emails that you've sent to? And it's like, we haven't done any of the emailing with it. We literally have it to root our computers to. And one of the things we keep kicking around and trying to figure out is like knowledge and document management. That's a whole separate discussion. Yeah, if you're from work, feel better about our documentation, because let me tell you, it's way worse at the nonprofit. Yeah. Like I said, we'll get back to that. Anyway, we got that side, and I decided, can we try to log in for the last set of credentials I remember making for the custom one, like I said just now, that we applied for Microsoft 360. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how fast we have to move the exciting. And this is the one thing that drives me nuts. I can never remember which side is the move it fast side and which side is the move it less fast side on the delay. It just does not stick in my brain for whatever exciting reason. Anyway, where was I? So we managed to get the personal account kind of sloughed off. It's probably not very good because the other half of the computers are rooted to that, but I don't know what else to do. But we did manage to log in with the custom domain account, and Microsoft Copilot said, like, hey, if you have one of those, that is a business account. And I think I added something like, we applied for Microsoft 365, but we weren't awarded it, so would there still be an account on their side? And they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, okay. Because we were talking about, after we didn't get awarded Microsoft 365 for nonprofits, about just buying it. But then we also have, because I looked today and I'm like, we have free versions of like the Office software. We could just use the online free versions. Like, I'm always for online free, no budget, low budget with the free clinic. But I can't get people to, for whatever reason, to agree on using like LibreOffice or OpenOffice. I think it's OpenOffice now. But yeah, it's like this giant, strange new thing. And I'm like, it's not that big a deal. But they want Microsoft. Fine, we can use Microsoft. Interoperability is a thing, but maybe not. Decide we're going to come back to that on another time, because, so we get the admin thing. We can log into the admin thing on the custom domain. Yay, custom domain. And then we've got the computers plugged in, and about that time, one of them freaks me the heck out because it just starts talking. It's just like, hi, if you want to set up accessibility feed. All we've done is plug it in, and then it's like, ah! Like, okay, thank you for just randomly talking to me. That was totally not scary whatsoever. And one of the other ones, after we plugged it in, like a few minutes later, tried to wake it up and started doing that too. Oddly enough, the third one out of the three, even though they were all HPs and all slightly different from each other, that one didn't go off a talking when it got woke up the first time, but the other two did. And they freaked me out. And for whatever reason, one of them was like really easy to set up, and the other two really wanted to like download a new version of the Windows OS. And oddly enough, the one that was easiest set up, I remember the latest version of its OS was like 2024. So I'm still scratching my head what's going on with that. What are you doing, neighbor? You just sitting there, eh? Probably waiting for me to go past. That's the one thing I hate about going that way, to go back home. It's like, like, okay, everybody come past. I'm like, I'm not doing the curve fast. So we get the things booted up. They talk to us, yay! And we get to go through the oh so exciting process of like telling Microsoft no, and we're English, and this American keyboard, and this, that, and the other. And it takes me a while to get my audit sheet set up and get like the first one mostly through it. And I did get stuck on trying to figure out our security software, which I swear I have an email about how to put the security software on computers. I just can't find it at my fingertips. And personally, I didn't want to download Chrome. I was fine with using Edge, but we download Chrome. And we left the default and everything. Yippee skippy. And as you can see, there's a part of the the middle part and the side part of my windshield that's not melting real great. So we got all that set up. I couldn't get the antivirus set up. I was able to get, verify there was security on it and get the printers added. That was nice and easy. Yeah, after years of swearing at printers and networking horrors, the printers were surprisingly easy on these HPs. Once you get on the network, it's happy dappies. Yeah, I think the thing that took the longest part was, again, trying to figure out the admin part. And I may already be running out of frustration halfway there. Look at that. But, yeah, I can tell I need to take my afternoon meds because I was there until like 1:30 and like towards the end there. Because once I got like the one set up, I was fine with doing the other two because I'm like, all right, we're just not going to do the office stuff and we're not going to do the security stuff right now because they do have like trial versions of McAfee running on them, so they're not going to be completely unsecure. But yeah, the clinic director right now, because I think they've just hired a new one, like an actual full-time person who can do that and not be a volunteer and responsible for everything. I think that person that they just hired is the reason why they're like got me going, like, we need to get these now. Even though I'm like, you do realize just because it says the OS isn't supported doesn't mean it'll like catch on fire. But yeah, I got a point at the printers. I made a local account for volunteer on everybody. Yeah, I didn't scrub out the bloatware. Okay, we are at a very slow, very long tail. Okay, somebody's turning, maybe. This could be fun, eh? I figure the most fun we see is deer. Oh no, we are getting someone to turn off. Okay. We're all going to the country very slowly. I'm not gonna make fun of anyone. One of the few Michiganders I know up here that doesn't have snow tires. And I'm like, I've never actually really needed them. Like, four-wheel drive seems to do the trick, although, yeah, this thing is gulping down the gasoline. Almost down to our last quarter tank. And I haven't been doing much other than driving back and forth to town. And I've been driving under 40 miles an hour. Okay, we're going over the hill. We're going over the hill. There's someone riding my bumper, 'cause we're going over the hill. Look at me, buddy. I'd go faster, but everybody else seems keen on it. Alright, where was I? Oh, yeah. That's right. I was trying to focus, much like now. And our clinic director just keeps bringing up random things. Like, one of the things that irked me towards the end where I was like, by the way, if you ever need to work with me and want to tell when I'm stressed and I can't, like, smoke or do anything, you'll see me, like, sit there and roosh my hair forever in a day. Just sit there and rat my hair with my bare hands. That means you're making me nuts. Please knock it off, whatever you are doing. In this case, it is I want to focus on XYZ and get all these computers right to the right state of doneness, and then I want to leave. Because it's 1 o'clock already, and I'm a hungry lady. No offense. Because usually when I go to clinic, at least when clinic's open, that like everybody brings a little for potluck and I get fed well. In this case, and yeah, I did get brought a little, like a dessert or something, but I didn't want to eat a ton of it. And I ended up having like 2 chai lattes that came out of the Keurig, and those actually weren't bad. I have to try chai latte again. But yeah, trying to focus on things when someone else is giving you a whole bunch of other, like, random, like, do we need to just randomly buy a scanner? Do you think we're short one machine? What do you mean we're short one machine? Well, I thought we named this one that and that one this, and why are we changing the names of the machines at the last minute? Well, it's not really the last minute, and I thought we decided this. But if we don't do that, then we don't have a replacement for this machine. Do you need a replacement for that machine? And then we go down this exciting, like, side rabbit hole of, like, well, I don't want to put, one of the newest machines out on the front desk because we barely do anything out on the front desk. Except add people into the patient system. It's like, you're not... like, you're not coming up with, protein folding or doing CAD or anything. You're not doing anything anyway that is that overly taxing to a PC. So, we're just going to keep going with you guys, huh? Alright. I probably could pass you. I just don't like being a jerk. There's nobody behind me. Also not in a super rush, and yeah. The few times I've passed people, I've occasionally spun out, and that's not in the back roads, that's just on the freeway, so we'll just be chill. But yeah, having someone continuously talk to, that's one of the downsides of going to the clinic, because if she wasn't talking to me and she was helping the other volunteer, that was fine, but like in the middle of the day, so our clinic is like up next to, I don't know, they call it a clubhouse, but it's like in partnership with community mental health, and people go there and hang out and learn to socialize or something. Yeah, this guy got bored too. Yeah, I don't blame you. And so they're over there a lot of the time, and that's fine, but our walls on both sides of the building, all sides of the building actually, because we also have a homeless shelter like behind us, so we're like 3 units in the building. And the homeless shelter I don't think is what's causing the problem. I think it's the mental health people, which is fine. Like, I know they gotta go somewhere and get adjusted to things and meet people, but they cut up a lot over there, and they get loud. At one point I was gonna break out my exciting librarian shush, but I didn't. Started to shush through a wall. As long as guys, like, can you shush it? Some of us are trying to do things over here. Yes, I see you, but you know what's great about you riding my bumper in the loving way that you do? I have a nice big fat tire back there, so I can barely see your headlight. So if you want to sit and suck on my tire, you have fun with that, eh? Sorry. Not the one who's driving slow, just the one that doesn't feel like playing ping pong with him. Oi. Anyway, we got out of there in like 3.5 hours. And we made our way back to campus. And we drove past, because I was kind of like, if you don't see anywhere to park, maybe you go home. But there were spots in the oh-so-exciting parking lot. Here, do you want to pass me and then pass him? As soon as you seem to be having a fucking problem with us? I'm sorry, YouTube. I don't deal well with tailgaters. I just watched a whole thing about why you shouldn't brake check people. Not that we run around with, dash cams up here, but there's also just good reasons not to. Especially in Michigan, because we're a little unhinged. So I'm not going to endorse randomly brake checking people for offenses, because people will get out, and some of us are armed. And some of us are just not well in the psyche, so, Do you want to make it home to your family, or do you want to teach somebody a lesson? No, I think I'll just make it home intact. That's the joy of aging, just make it home intact. But yeah, I swung through Panera Bread because my logic was, if I can't get a spot in my parking lot, then I'll go get Dan something better than Panera Bread, because you can't eat that because it's all tough and stuff, and we'll drive ourselves back to home. But I was able to get a spot. It was in one of the paid spots. I still haven't gotten it. Talked to the parking guys yet. Been like, are we allowed to park in those for free? Because a lot of the times the students are parking in our spots and we can't get nowhere. Yeah, suck a pickle back there, good sir knight. You're just like revving to rev, huh? Yeah, well, you rev. I hope you skid out and wrap yourself around a tree the way you're carrying on. So 5 freaking minutes of patience, man. Excuse me for having to get cigarettes. Yeah, go spin off. Don't spin off to your own demise. When you're in the country, there are jerks. We'll pause and come back soon. Alright, I'm gonna try and go home through the woods road and see if we get stuck. Hopefully we won't get stuck. The moment we are in high 4, we can go into high 2 if we need to. Yeah. Low 4, there we go. Like, why am I saying high 2? High 2 is the normal setting. Anyway, good news. The neighbor at the country store confirmed for me that person who was up my bum like a dirty thong is apparently a known idiot. Because, like, you can't fix stupid. I'm like, okay. Because he's like, I know. I'm like, maybe you tell him no. That's just how he is. I'm like, oh, great. That's the joy of a small town, though. You know all your neighbors. Like, you know, I would just like that. He's like, yeah, I saw him come whipping around the curve doing nice little, what do you call them? Drifty drifts. Which is fun to do in the snow, don't knock it. I just ain't, again, I'm old and I'd like to stay that way. Actually, nowadays it's more like, I don't want to wreck my car. If I could just perish and Dan can get the car out without problem, that might be doable, but mostly I just don't want to have to ask for an extract and have to get the car fixed. Enjoy being old and in the best car I've ever actually bought. Alright, into the road of seasons. So where are we with the day? Oh yeah, managed to get a parking spot, managed to find my way through the snow back into the building. Where I got to be disappointed, but unfortunately yesterday's patron mode working became today's disappointment of the patron mode not working. It just makes me sit and blink my head. I have a feeling if I write support about it again, they're gonna be like, no, we told you that. Like, if there's no change to the file, it just rejects the user record on the import. And it's like, well, why would it do that? Because there's this other exciting one that says number of unchanged files. And if anyone wants to comment on all my user mode jobs and knows anything about that, feel free. Because I'm still sitting here going, if we look at the math, the updated records plus the new records, no. Updated records plus unchanged records, there we go, I knew there were 2 U's, ends up equaling the number of rejected records. So what's that mean? I'm like, heck if I know. So I may be writing support again and going, yeah, I know I've been bothering you about this for 8 weeks. And I know you said X is not Y and Y is not Z, but why would you make these reports that say unchanged and then say reject? Like, what is the math on this? Clarivate. You must explain to me the math, because it maths, but it maketh no sense. And I know the last time I talked to them, they're like, well, it's not designed for daily loads. And I'm sitting here going, but where there's much larger universities than us that I know are loading daily, and if not hourly, and are not having this issues. I'm at the point of hitting the listserv, because I think I mentioned this in an earlier recording. Oh, we're at the point with the vendor where they're just like, yeah, we didn't build it to do that. The inactive users, we didn't build it for that. This is pretty. So, yeah, go on the listserv or write an enhancement, because we don't understand why you'd want to load inactive users into your system anyway. But yeah, it took us like 68 weeks to get them to finally cough up, like, why are you doing that? No, it's not meant for that. I'm like, well, thank you telling me now that we've gotten to the end of the problem. I'll yoink some chains. Whee! Oh, this kind of freaks me out. Oh, don't go. Do. So, yeah. I was writing IT back and forth, and you can tell I didn't have my meds because my coworkers were like cutting up in front of my door while I'm trying to figure this out. And at one point I write RT Press, I'm like, I have to look at this in the morning. It's like 3:45 and my coworkers are just cutting up real loud outside my door. And it's nothing against them, my one brain cell is like done for the day. It's like, please no. It's more complicated than doing authority control right now. I don't want to be asked about it. Oh, that one thumped a bit hard. But she's still going. Hopefully won't have any, I forget what Dan calls them, the scratch marks on the side. Whew. But yeah, getting short, my people. I'm trying to run out the clock, so I don't feel like using my brain again. Well, now I've got a bunch of stuff to do in 2 or 3 days, depending on how you count Monday. But I always managed to write our committee about the whole recommendation letters. I'm like, I volunteer to do so-and-so's. If I need to do so-and-so's, I can do so-and-so's too, but, you know. No, I'll do that. Or maybe I'll do this other one. Okay. I just want to do this one because this person's nice and straightforward, and I don't have to think too hard to write their recommendation. Like, she did this, and she did that, and she took on a bunch of extra work. And yes, our committee is running behind, but we're not to the deadline yet, which is good. Because, yeah, our committee chair was like, people already in the other colleges already know if they've been recommended or not. And I'm like, well. I didn't know we were allowed to tell them, frankly. I figured it was one of those where it's like, you don't tell them, they find out later in life through the joy of upper management, provost, president-ish telling you these things. But it's been a minute. I don't know if I'll ever apply for merit again because I already know I'm paid enough. More than I'm tired, yeah. Tired of paperwork. Actually, my last increase, I'm still trying to figure out how the heck that happened, but I'm not going to whine about it. My friend who does the like market adjustments for a union, like I asked her, her theory is they just underpaid me for so long. They're like, we'll just make up this huge deficit on January, and you won't even notice. It'll be fine. You won't complain. And you're right, I don't, but it was still kind of an interesting thing to discover at the start of last year. I was like, oh, I've been getting paid this for a while. Oh, okay. You know, it's like bank shortages in your favor. You don't go around talking about it too much, but it was a very pleasant surprise. Now we can almost break even this economy with 2 people and only 1 income. And depending on how MCLS has taken my semester leave of absence, because they sent me a nice happy thank you for teaching with us for like 6.5 years card with a gift card inside of it. I still don't know how much the gift card is, but I get the sense that they're just like, oh, you're retiring. I didn't know if I was retiring, but if you think I'm retiring, then I guess I can retire. They have developed a new course that is not my course for objects, but is for public libraries, which hopefully does better than mine. I feel a bit ashamed that I even ran mine for so long because so many people didn't seem to like it, but oh well, I tried. That's life. Entrepreneurship at its finest. Now mine failing occasionally. You gotta fail occasionally. Just when you feel like your whole life's a failure. And I don't feel that way right now. I just feel like I ain't got much else to say anymore. Like I publish the things I need to publish, and I can get the heck out of here. You know, I'm only here because of Dan. I still don't even know what to do about that. Like, what am I supposed to be an inspiration? Am I supposed to be a motivation? Am I just supposed to love him? Probably just supposed to love him. Felt bad this morning, babe, because I woke up and like I had to take all the warmth and the snuggles away from everyone. He's always so sad. So I was like, you get up, and then the giant dog gets up, the cat gets up. I'm like, well, usually it starts with the cat get up. As in, the cat gets up and either mews at me, bites me, or does that thing where, you know, they stand on your colon when you're unconscious and make biscuits until you become conscious. Like, hello! Like, yeah, okay, now I gotta see me about a horse. Thanks, cat. Oh, she's cute. Still kind of want another one, but she's cute. We got enough mouths to feed. Quinn's like 2 dogs, even though, whatchamacallit. She's the size of 2 dogs. She eats as much as 2 dogs. But she does not chase herself around like 2 dogs. Yeah, this thing is almost on the quarter down. Quarter left. Well, we're checking through the snow real well. Can't say much about that. Yeah. Getting out was a pain, though. Like I said, I hate excavating. I hate excavating so much. That was one thing with this house when I bought it. I was very, very much like, we are going to buy a house with an attached garage and enough external garage spaces that I get one guaranteed spot in the garage. Full stop. Because I gave up my internal exterior spot in the garage for Dan's shop at my dad's house. And I do not like excavating my car. And I was like, I make too much money and I'm buying this house and I'm not going to excavate my car every dang morning. I do miss, though, I admit, I had a car that, well, that's another story time for another day. But I had a car that briefly loved, because it was back when I worked at the community college, and it had a remote starter that came with it when I bought it, so I was able to, like, actually, because I had an office right at the back of the building on the ground floor, I could shoot, like, the remote starter out my window, and I would remote start the car, and oh, that was glorious. I'm almost tempted to pay a couple $100 every remote starter again, because those are nice. But it's not the end of the world, you won't die, work on your stoicism, all that good stuff. Anyway, we're almost up to my road. And we're a little bit over the 30 mark, so I guess we'll cut it here. I hope you don't mind hanging out with my rambling. You got to see a lot of nice deep snow, if nothing else.